This is the first video of a short mini-series I plan to do about the original villains from Dragon Ball that normally turned good. In these videos, I'm going to talk about what I think would have happened if they never turned good, starting with Yamcha. Anyway, in order for Yamcha to remain evil, this scenario must begin the Emperor Pilaf saga, since that is the only saga he was evil in, though in comparison to later enemies, Yamcha isn't really that evil, since the worst he does is rob people. However, he can also get violent if they refuse his demands. But anyway, the change to keep Yamcha evil is a relatively simple one. To stop him from turning good, he just needs to be stopped from getting close to Goku and the others. The easiest way to do that is when they were going through the Mushroom Forest. Normally, this is where Shu uses his peel-off machine to destroy the car Bulma, Goku, and Oolong were in. This is what leads to Yamcha tagging along with him directly instead of following them. So, for this to change, Shu would have just needed to miss his shot when trying to hit their car. Without Shu destroying their car as a distraction, he stays in hiding, so Goku, Bulma, and Oolong continue on their way. A minor change because of this is that Shu doesn't get the rest of the Dragon Balls from them. When he reports this to Pilaf, this obviously upsets him, but he notices on his radar that the Dragon Balls are heading towards him anyway. Once the heroes arrive at Pilaf's castle, Yamcha keeps his distance instead of following them inside. The heroes are still trapped inside and knocked unconscious with gas, so Pilaf, Mai, and Shu steal the Dragon Balls from them. Pilaf still summons Shenron as they briefly look at the dragon in awe. Since Yamcha and Pilaf were outside in this timeline, Yamcha shouts his wish to the dragon before Pilaf could state his wish. Of course, his wish would be to no longer fear girls, since that was his major goal in this saga. However, like with the rest of the heroes, he is then captured by Pilaf, Mai, and Shu. Things from there generally stay the same, but Yamcha and Puar aren't really talking to the heroes as much, so they didn't have some of their usual interactions to get closer to them. The rest of the saga generally goes the same, with Goku turning into a great ape. After he destroys the castle, Puar still turns into scissors and cuts his tail off. Bulma this time would be angry about Yamcha stealing her wish, so the idea of him being her boyfriend never crosses her mind. So, when they go their separate ways, Yamcha and Puar go off on their own. They would go back to Diablo Desert, and since they essentially cut ties with the heroes, Yamcha would go back to being a bandit. When not committing his crimes and staying in the desert, he likely goes to town more often now, since he is no longer afraid of girls, and in the manga, he mentioned his dream was to get married. He would begin looking for a partner. Obviously, for someone to get with him, they would need to be fine with him being a bandit, which, the only character from the original Dragon Ball series that I think would be fine with this would be Launch. After all, she is a bank robber, at least when in her blonde form. Though it would be likely that he meets her when she is in the process of escaping from robbing a bank. He could potentially help her hide out in the desert to escape the police, or he could begin to commit crimes with her. Of course, he'd find out about her blue-haired form eventually, but regardless, they'd likely grow closer over time. They could easily get together and potentially get married and have a family later. With the money they're making, they likely don't stay in the desert forever. They would eventually purchase a home somewhere, potentially in the city. Though after that, they would have to be more careful with the crimes they commit so that they can't be found living there. Regardless, as for the rest of the main timeline, Yamcha and Launch's absence doesn't have many major changes. During the training with Master Roshi, Goku and Krillin wouldn't be able to find Launch since she is with Yamcha. They would need to find another girl instead to be allowed to train with Roshi. Instead, they might find someone like Ranfan, but unlike Launch, she might do some minor training with Roshi since she planned to participate in the World Martial Arts Tournament as well. Speaking of the tournament, Yamcha wouldn't be there, and someone from the preliminaries likely takes his place. I think the fighter that looked like Bruce Lee would take his place, simply because it would be the Bruce Lee impersonator going against Jackie Chun in the first round. As for the Red Ribbon Army saga, nothing really changes in it, since Yamcha didn't play a role in it. Without Yamcha being in the Fortune Teller Baba saga, the only difference would be that Goku fights the Invisible Man instead, though Krillin still causes Roshi to have a nosebleed so that the Invisible Man can be seen by Goku. Then at the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament, without Yamcha there, someone else would take his place in the main tournament. It could potentially be Nam, since he was someone who normally didn't make it through the preliminaries of the tournament, though he would still lose to Tien in the usual way he did during the preliminaries, with him being entered by Tien to teach Goku and his friends a lesson. In the King Piccolo saga, Yamcha wouldn't be attacked by Tambourine since he never participated in any of the World Martial Arts tournaments. Other than that, he didn't have any other effect on the King Piccolo saga. Then in the 23rd World Martial Arts tournament, Yajirobe makes it through the preliminaries since Yamcha isn't there, though he still loses against Hiro in the first round of the tournament. There also might be a minor change here of Bulma making some moves on Goku, since in this timeline she never got with Yamcha, and she did mention that the grown-up Goku was cute, though when it comes down to a choice between Bulma or Chi-Chi, Goku likely still chooses Chi-Chi to keep his promise. Nothing changes in the Raditz saga, since Yamcha wasn't involved in it. The only thing that really changes in the Saiyan saga is that one more Cyberman is killed by Krillin's Scatter Kamehameha, since Yamcha wasn't there to get blown up by that Cyberman. Yamcha wasn't present in the Namek and Frieza sagas, so nothing changes in them. The same goes for when Mecha Frieza is on Earth, since Yamcha did nothing then, either. As for the Android saga, someone else would just be the first one to find the androids, like Tien. This doesn't really have any major effects on the story, but Tien also ends up being the one to take Goku home once he gets sick. Then the Cell Saga, Cell makes one less Cell Jr. since Yamcha isn't there. The Buu Saga doesn't change either, since Yamcha didn't play a role in it. While I could go saga by saga with Dragon Ball Super, I won't, since Yamcha didn't play a part in most of it. The only change is in the Galactic Patrol Prisoner Saga, since he wouldn't be there to help fight the escaped convicts. However, not much really changes, since the people Yamcha usually defeated could easily be defeated by one of the other heroes, like Tien, in the Peaceful World Saga. The only change is that Yamcha isn't there to spectate the 28th World Martial Arts Tournament.